Well, we're so glad that you can join us. Welcome to the Fastlane Cars fifth annual Top 10 Fun Cars to Drive Awards. Every year, the entire staff, the entire team of TFLcar gets together and we pick the cars that we think are the most fun to drive that we've driven this year. So one of the criteria is we've had to have driven the car. And today we've got a very special guest, Andrei, the Russian mechanic.
Привет, друзья!
Serving as host and master of ceremonies. Go ahead, Andrei.
Хорошо, ребята, у меня есть здесь лист.
Whoa. Didn't we establish that you can speak English recently?
Да, я могу.
Okay, then why are you speaking Russian?
Well, it was more fun like that.
Okay, I think we're going to start with English now. So let's start that list in English. Andrei. Folks, what we're going to do is we're going to read you a list that has the also-rans, the vehicles that we wanted to put on the list, but for one reason or another didn't quite make it. Bear in mind, this is voted on by the entire TFLcar team, so everybody voted on it, and what we came up with is, well, technically two lists, one final part. The ones that made it to the list, the finals, they're all 2014 models. There's lots of the vehicles that we wanted to choose for 2013, but they just couldn't make the list because of the year.
And there's lots of vehicles that we wanted to choose, but we didn't get to drive.
That's correct.
So if we didn't drive them, we didn't include them.
Obviously.
Go for it, Andrei. So this is the list of the cars that almost made it to the top 10.
That's right. So the first one here is the Range Rover Sport 2014.
We used one of those to chase down, what was it, Corvettes?
Yeah, up in the mountains.
Mountains, and it hauled ass. It was awesome.
It has a supercharged engine,
Yeah,
a
it's fast.
selection of them.
It's fun.
Yeah.
The next one is Mercedes-Benz E550 Cabriolet.
I got to drive that on the West Coast with a perfect day in just a beautiful state on a one-way road, and I flogged that, and it was, oh my gosh. If it were up to me, it'd be on the top 10 list, but once again, it's a team decision.
Yeah, and, well, I didn't get to drive it, so the hell with you! I'm sorry, next one.
The next one is the 2014 Audi A8 TDI.
That was an amazingly powerful car. I mean, that thing had so much power, but I think at the end of the day, it's really expensive, and putting a diesel on a fun-to-drive list, I think it needs to be just a little bit more exciting to drive.
Well, it was more economy-based. I mean, it was fun and it was powerful, but it was a V6, not a V8.
That's true. And don't they have V12 diesels like in Europe? See, we don't have those here in America.
The Q7.
So another smackdown.
So the next one is the Regal GS.
Oh yeah. The manual is a lot of fun to drive.
It's a really good car. It's based on a European platform. I think Buick has pretty much decided to rebrand every European Opel.
Which is freaking awesome, because that's what we need. We need European cars here, and that's how we're getting them. Great. Awesome.
So the next car is actually a 2015. It's the GTI.
I had to put it on the list. I know it didn't count, but you guys, if you're into Volkswagen, and there's a lot of you out there, then that is the Mark 7 worth waiting for. That engine note is just about as close to the sound of God laughing as you can get.
And you know, I heard that they're thinking about discontinuing the two-door GTI when it comes out.
More power to them. More power to them.
Really? I didn't know they're going to
only
do that.
four-door. That's the rumor.
Well, Andre, by the way, is a huge Volkswagen fan. Now that he's speaking English,
I thought he was a big Lada fan.
No, he's not. He hates Lada.
Lada and Skoda. Hey,
Next.
Zil?
the 2014 Mazda 6.
Moskovich?
Oh, the Mazda 6.
And the Volga.
The Mazda 6 is one of the best looking cars currently built. I think it's absolutely sexy. I love the engine. I love the ride. It's a great car. I think it was just one minor step away from getting onto our most fun to drive list.
Volga's not fun to drive.
Volga's not fun to drive. Thank you, Tommy.
The next car is the Honda Accord Sport.
You know, the only way we got to drive that car was that our intern, Kyle, had it. He just bought it.
Just bought it and we got our hands on it. Honda wouldn't give us one. And this one had the manual, and they're really hard to find. And it was an awesome car. It was so much fun to shift. A really good transmission, good engine, really good car, but not quite at that fun level that we were looking for.
So technically, if we can't get it from the manufacturer, we're being
then
selfish.
we're not going to drive it. It's not going to be on our list.
We have to get it from our intern.
Steal it from our intern. Next.
The next one is the Sonic Turbo.
I loved the Sonic Turbo. So many of you guys were very negative about it, possibly because it's kind of a bucket of bolts, and maybe it is. But you know what? For the price, it's one of the most enjoyable little front-wheel drive turbocharged cars that you can get here in the United States that's built in the United States.
Yeah, and you gotta love pocket rockets.
Yeah,
it's just such a fun little category of cars.
Yeah, and that's exactly what it's in.
And we took it on up-eye gauntlet.
Yeah, it did great.
And it did great with 5 of us.
Yeah, that's right.
Like the Fiat 500 Abarth, I would put in that category, but the one we drove is a 2013, so
That's
not on the
why
list.
it's on the list. Yeah, I would have put it on there too.
And the next one is the Infiniti Q60.
Oh, me and Andre had a quite the
Should we
adventure
explain
with
the
it.
name? The name Q60? It's a
Nobody
new
can
name.
explain the name.
All the whole Infinity thing with all the new Q names really. Yeah.
So it used to be the G37 coupe.
Yeah, no,
Right,
it's a,
so
yeah.
It's a Q60.
Good luck with that.
And we had fun with it in the snow.
We did. We got it stuck. Properly stuck.
Yeah, you guys got lucky that you had help. Well, the one thing about that car I don't like, I love the way the power. I love the all-wheel drive system when it works, and I love the fact
It
that
works all the time.
it's a lot of fun to drive. But it's still kind of old looking to me. I think that they need to refresh it.
Yeah,
big
they
time.
just changed the badge. That's all they changed. There's no other changes for 2014.
Yeah, I think Sebastian Vettel needs to get a hold of it and redo it, and it will be fine.
I'm curious to what that guy would really do with styling. It'd either be really good or really bad. I don't think there's any in between with that guy.
Let him do the mechanicals, I guess.
All right, and what's another
The
one?
final one is the 4 Series. Actually, we have several here. The M5, M6, and the 4 Series that I drove.
You got to drive those.
Yeah, the 4 Series was great. They widened the track
Yeah.
on the 3 Series coupe, and they called it the 4 Series. And it was a lot of fun in the twisty in the corners. And of course, M5, M6. They're computerized, and there's a lot of things going on there, but still, you can't beat the power, and it's just a lot of fun.
And raise your hand if you actually drove one of those cars this past year.
Hemi? Oh, well.
That's why it's not on the list.
All right, now before we get to the top 10 TFL most fun to drive cars, I want to show you this. Check it out.
What is it?
It is a 19... Well, I'm going to say 68 because that's the car
Doesn't
we're
matter,
going.
though.
Doesn't matter. Tatra 603, and this is our Kickstarter project. I want to thank everybody out there who has backed us so far. You guys are the best, and we're so grateful because without you, we could not make this happen. And we're up to about 50 backers, and we've got 150,000 subscribers.
More than that,
and if you
actually.
do the math, right, if every one of you would donate 50 cents, can you do 50 cents?
Then we'd be able to make this trip possible. Here's the thing, guys. Keep in mind that this isn't just a trip for us. It's also a trip for a lot of you. You guys will be able to actually participate in this. Some of you will actually get on camera. You can get your name put on the car or on the site. You can actually be a little part of this thing.
Get a
that you
ride in the
can-
car.
And you can ride in it if it's not smoking or on fire. And which
Or
is,
if it is, make for a
if
better
it
video.
is, yeah, for insurance. The point is that you guys can actually be part of this. You can be part of something. You can be part of TFL.
And here's something I want to give you a heads up on. I emailed the fine folks at Pebble Beach,
Yes.
the Concours d'Elegance,
Yes.
and they have not responded. So we may go knocking on the door, and they may be, we fart in your general direction with this crappy old...
Yeah, no keys to the kingdom. So that really depends on what happens between here and then. I have a feeling that they'll let us at least onto the parking lot. Maybe we can smell the vendors that are there. Maybe we'll be able to look with binoculars at what's going on.
I'll make the gentleman bet. I will bet that the Tatra 603 wheels will never touch the hallowed grounds of Pebble Beach.
Wow, that is just so optimistic of you. Once again, folks, just check out what we've got
The
going.
golf course. Not the actual, town of Monterey. We can get there.
We can
I think
get.
they have the concourse of lemons at the Pebble Beach. There is
You
a
guys
site-
are assuming we're going to get there with a car that's intact. I'm still thinking of a large explosion somewhere near Berlin. So, yeah, let's move on to the list. Thank you guys for supporting us. Please support us on this. I think it's worthwhile, and I think you will too.
I think we've teased them long enough, gentlemen.
Yeah, that's
The
I have,
top-
the list, I have the top 10 here.
In
All right.
descending order. So from
Descending.
10 to number 1. All right,
Okay.
go for it, Andre.
So number 10, the 2014 Toyota 4Runner.
Hold on. I know you're about to hit the keyboard. Let's say what? There's a full-blown, hardcore off-roading version which kicks ass. It is right up there with certain products built by Jeep and Land Rover. It is extremely well made.
I would say it's probably not just up there. It can easily compete with any Range Rover, any Jeep, especially even the FJ.
Yeah, it can compete with the FJ. I don't think it can compete with.
And you guys drove it
Wrangler.
off-road, right?
Yeah,
we
we
took
had
it off-road. It was pretty
okay.
serious off-road too. It's a great vehicle, a lot of fun to drive, and it's the best 4Runner currently made, but only that version.
And it's also still one of the last SUVs. There is a difference, folks, between an SUV and a CUV, sport utility versus a
Oh,
crossover.
it goes on so many levels, though. But the point is it has a frame, it has a proper chassis that you can actually beef up and put real shocks and springs on.
Number 9, the 2014 Lexus IS 350.
You know, I got to take that onto a drag strip. I've never had so much fun going so fast on a rubbery surface. We actually dropped one of our little cams, and I thought, oh my God, the camera is dead, but it bounced on a drag strip. I did not know those were rubberized. But the car itself is, I think, sexy. It's fast. It's capable. Lexus is really trying to compete with the 3 Series, and wouldn't you agree that they've actually succeeded?
You know, for those of you who are not Lexus fans and look at it and go, oh, that's just a dressed-up Camry. No, it's not. It's probably the best example of having that new grille, which I don't like on all Lexus models, but it looks really good on that car. The spindle grille, and the body lines are excellent.
Number 8 on our list is a 2014 Mazda 3.
Nice car.
Nathan, you drove it in California, I believe.
Yeah, I drove all versions of it too, with the exception of one. They have the manual transmission version for the 2.5 that's coming out really soon. I didn't get to drive that, but I drove all the other ones. That 2.5 engine in that little Mazda, rocket ship. Really good automatic transmission. But even the 2-liter that we just recently had was a lot of fun to drive, even up here at high altitude.
Yeah, the old one had kind of this Joker face. I could never get into
smiling
that.
face,
Yeah, and the engine was always designed for fuel efficiency, but at the cost of power. The new one, fuel efficient and powerful.
And I like the styling of the hatchback a little bit more than the sedan. The hatchback looks really proper.
I agree with you.
Gentlemen, I can't wait for the new Mazda Speed 3. That's going to be a hell of a ride.
Oh yeah, with a hood scoop on there.
Yeah. And
Lot
torque
of
steer,
power.
so there's
I'm curious to how they're going to do it with the super high compression engine. It's going to be very interesting to see.
Maybe turbocharging, I'm not sure.
Well, they're going to turbocharge it, but I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Oh, I see what's next on the list. It's
Yeah.
going to be the most controversial.
Number 7 is a 2014 Jeep Cherokee Trailhawk.
I hear the comments.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, may I start with this before?
Okay, you start first.
Don't
Okay.
stab me in the eye with the pen. Tommy, the cameraman, if you couldn't hear it, and Andre are not too terribly keen on the looks of the new Cherokee. I don't completely disagree. I think it is an unusual thing, but if you take it from the inside out, the Trailhawk version of it with the V6 was a hell of a good ride off-road. It was fun. It was fun to drive around corners and everything. But Andre has a different way of looking at it.
Well, so the styling in the front, I can't get past the styling to begin with. And then I drove the 4-cylinder Trailhawk up at elevation.
Yeah.
And it did not have enough power.
All right,
Just wasn't there.
So here's what I'm going to add to this. I think that they're brilliant because they're not going to buy or not going to get the loyalists to buy into this vehicle. And so what they're doing is they're going for people who want the Jeep brand, the Jeep tradition, but want a modern crossover. And the numbers are proving it. The last report I read was that it was equaling the sales of the Wrangler. That's like the first month it's out.
Yeah.
So I think that they know what they're doing, and all the Jeep loyalists who hate the look of it aren't the people who are going to buy the thing anyway.
And I think a lot of my friends really like the styling.
Yeah.
I just don't get it, but I think a lot of people out there are getting it.
I actually have a vehicle that it looks like. I found it out a long time ago, old movie with Jan Michael Vincent called Damnation Alley. Go and look up what that tank vehicle is in the front end of it, and I think you'll see
it looks
that
like
they look the same.
it looks like the Via Cross. Remember that old
No,
Isuzu?
the Isuzu, don't you hark on that.
That's what it looks like, and it looks like a Sportage from the back.
Okay, next.
All right, so the number 6 we have here, the Volkswagen Jetta GLI.
Yeah, you had that for a long time.
Yeah.
The 2-liter turbo.
Man,
is
that
probably
thing-
underrated.
Extremely underrated. That car is one of the best sleepers out there because if you get the regular version, it doesn't look like it's really fast, but it hauls ass.
I think we did a 7-second 0 to 60 at elevation.
Yeah.
I just couldn't believe it.
That's faster than the Ford Focus ST, the 2013 that I tested.
You know what my problem with that car is?
What?
The GTI.
Agreed. And the GTI is better looking. I'm not saying that GLI is good looking, but man, you get behind the wheel, it's a blast to drive.
Once
It's a
again,
sleeper,
same
I
thing with
agree
the
with
GTI.
Agreed. But we didn't have a GTI for 2014.
No, we didn't.
Yep. There you
So
go.
the next one, number 5, the Tesla Model S P85 Plus, so the top end.
Yeah, I love the Tesla. I was just blown away with its styling, its power, and its general comfort.
Really?
Everything about that car is successful.
You see where I'm going to go with this?
I see where you're going to go with that.
Well, no, first of all, I think it's a toy for the rich. It is fast. I drove it. It's a lightning bolt. Fast. But with that type of speed, I want something like this in my ears. That's a Hemi in there.
What, do you want a plastic engine in your ear?
I want, it's just, I'm still not quite there. I haven't drank, I won't drink the
drink the
Kool-Aid.
Kool-Aid.
Yeah, it's not quite there for me. I think it's a toy for the rich, and I just don't see it as a practical everyday car for an average American. But I will agree,
No, it's not.
it
I
is
agree.
fun to drive.
I agree. It's not an average everyday car.
You know,
You're right.
when I was in the Model S, I felt like I was inside an iPhone. Everything was, nicely done and styled, but the back seat was a little bit tight. I don't know.
It was the seating position was a little weird.
Yeah, weird.
And
Yeah.
we
Well,
noticed.
that's because you were in the third row.
No, neither of us can fit in the third row. Thank you.
So number 4,
Yes.
moving on, we have the 2014 Bentley Flying Spur.
Yeah.
The updated one.
Yeah, I got to drive that in China, of all places, in Beijing. And what makes that car so phenomenal, obviously, is the power plant. Speaking of, 8 isn't enough.
The torque.
Yeah,
the torque of it.
8 is fine, but once you got a W12, then you're talking 600 pounds of torque. I think it's more than that. It's just,
Yeah, it's probably more.
It combines, it's like, you know what it is? It's like if you took an M5 and you made it uber-sized, right? Increased the horsepower, increased the torque, increased the luxury, and made it just a phenomenally powerful, capable, and crazy expensive car. So it embodies all that. It's a super rich car. I understand that. But if I won the lottery tomorrow, that would be certainly one of the cars on my list.
You would look good, especially with all your hair driving it. But you know what? The other side of it is that car has more street presence than almost anything else I've seen in its class. It's beautiful. It's just a gorgeous car.
Yeah,
And it's classy. It's not shouting.
right.
you know.
That's a
And
really good
it's
point.
very-
Yeah, it's understated.
Yeah.
I drove the Rolls Royce Wraith, and everywhere I stopped in that thing, people would come, and that was the reason that I just couldn't fall in love with it. I don't want my car to scream, "Look at me, I'm rich." I want it to be the exact
But the Bentley
opposite.
just flies just right
Under the radar. Yeah.
All right, so number 3 car is 2014 Nissan GTR.
Yeah, you threw that up there for the Nissan fans.
Are you kidding? That thing is just incredible. I cannot get my head around the electronics in that car alone. Look, once you guys get past what you see in the videos and magazine, and you actually look at the way everything is connected. If you look at the diagrams that go into this car and the amount of work it went to build one of these things, it's incredible. It's something that NASA could
Now
build.
you drank the Kool-Aid, okay? The interior of that thing is no better than a regular Z, right?
It's roomier. It's roomier than
It's kind of part spin in the interior when you're looking at it.
It's simple.
It's starting to look a little bit dated now.
It is a little dated.
Little
Well,
tiny
it was
bit.
designed like 10
Yeah,
years ago.
and the exhaust note, if you love vacuum cleaners,
Okay, the exhaust note doesn't
I would
sound-
say a jet engine. I
yeah,
think that's maybe a better
a
way.
lot more induction noise, a lot more, you can hear a lot more of the air coming in than you actually hear it going out.
The minute you put your right foot down on the accelerator, all of a sudden everything changes and your man bits grow. It's fantastic.
And on the racetrack, it made me look like a Superman.
Yeah, you just
We got in it
laughed
on the
incredible.
racetrack.
All right,
and
all
I
right.
felt like
I have to say, when I used the launch control, it did put a massive smile on my face. And you're right, when you get into that power, it's
it's still the fastest car we've ever tested.
Yeah, it's just incredible.
it is.
Number 2,
Yep.
the 2014 Jaguar F-Type.
Beautiful car. I love looking at it.
A phenomenal car in terms of styling, phenomenal car in terms of exhaust note, and phenomenal car in terms of just road presence. It's got it all. It's a complete package. The only problem with that car is the number 1 car.
Here, I'll jump right to it then.
Which is the 2014 Chevrolet Corvette C7 Stingray.
Yeah, at $52,000, that is the supercar bargain of the year. I just took Tommy to the Chevy dealership to check it out.
Yeah.
And the interior, Tommy, what'd you think of the interior?
No, it's incredible.
Yeah, looks like something out of a fine Italian sports car.
Finally, General Motors has done something with the Corvette interior, which hasn't looked good in 30 years.
And if you get a base stripper Jaguar F-Type, 62-ish Corvette with the V8, 52. $10,000 less, two more
More
cylinders,
power.
Yeah.
more power.
Manual transmission
Mission.
too. You can't
Yeah.
get that with the Jag, which is a bummer.
Yeah, and okay, the Jaguar is a convertible, but that's got that nice target top that comes off,
Yeah.
so it's kind of equal. It's a hell of a car, and I really am impressed that Chevy took what has become basically an old man muscle car and built it into a truly unique, beautiful, sexy sports car.
Yeah, you no longer are going to see guys with those big belt buckles and the stomach that hangs over them driving those.
That may be me.
You're going to see younger guys driving that Corvette. Yeah, I don't wear a big belt buckle, but it's just a phenomenal car in terms of the performance numbers. They're really astonishing numbers. And you think about it, this is the entry level Corvette. Imagine what they have for the future.
Yeah, when the convertible and then the Z06 come
The
out.
Z06 should be out in Detroit.
Which we're going to be covering.
Yeah, and speaking of which, before we say goodbye, we've got our entire team going to the Detroit Auto Show in less than, what is that, 2 weeks now?
About 2 weeks.
And so expect, as always, full coverage. We're going to be on top of it like, what, Nathan?
Like flies on poop.
I was trying not to go there. I thought you'd have something.
Well, I didn't want to say something rude.
But we'll be covering every launch, every debut with the entire team. So subscribe if you haven't done so already. And thanks for watching. As always, this is
Nathan.
Andre,
and Roman saying thank you for watching and see you guys next time. Ciao.
Dash Vanya.
thank you and Happy New Year.
And Volgas are terrible cars. Sorry, Andre. Terrible.
I grew up in one. It's an emotional experience.
oh,
Guz 21.
Oh, God. Sills. Oh, my God. All right, at least this has some style.